What's up, everybody? It's Your Shepard is here. That is right. I am here. I'll be joined shortly by Commissioner Rhino, along with the SOCAL Wolf, to deliver you the Week 10 Sunday main slate reaction fantasy recap show. There's really not that much to recap. There is. We can recap every game. Of course we can. There just isn't a lot to write home about. There isn't a ton of flash. There isn't a ton of wow, like we saw on Thursday night. Now, what we saw on Thursday night, folks, I mean, that's a whole new level. That's a different level. You don't get many of those often at all. But yeah, in terms of this main slate, it started sluggish, and it really started sluggish at 9:30, and it pretty much carried all the way through into the Dallas Eagles game. The Dallas Eagles. How about them? How about them Cowboys, folks? By the way, I want to give a special shout out to the United States Marine Corps. We have a veteran of the United States Marine Corps in one Commissioner Rhino. It is the 249th.
Yes, it is.
249th. Now, I didn't even do any basic arithmetic. If it's 2024, now you would want to subtract
1775.
So there you go. There's the math I was looking for. 1775. So the Marine Corps was formed a year before we signed the Declaration of Independence. That's what I could take away from that. That's basically what I was looking for. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Welcome in, Commissioner Rhino. Thank you very much. Of course. I mean, I know I don't have to thank you, but yeah, I know. We try to give. We all wish to conserve as much energy as possible, because this isn't a 17, 18, 19 week program. This is a yearly 365 minus a few days here and there type of program that we're creating here. So nevertheless, we want to try to conserve energy where we can. And again, thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. I always got you, brother. You know that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Fetty Goat. Welcome to the show. Please give us a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. But since Nico is out, yes, that is the big news that we were waiting for. We were waiting for that news since last night. Again, we mentioned on the show, just because that he was activated off of IR wasn't a lock to participate in this game. They're going to give him some extra time. It's interesting too, because look, he had to come off IR. Yeah. Right. You have to be activated after 4 games, or you're risking now a much long-termer absence. So the fact that they activated him because they needed to, but yet he's still not 100%. But nonetheless, let's get to this GOAT's question. We're going to go Jalen Waddle, or we're going to go with J-Mo? I think we're going to get a better game out of Jalen Waddle, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's less mouths to feed, especially with probably the chance of Tyreek Hill not playing.
There's the other one. There's the other big one, although, of course, there's much more time for that.
Yeah,
probably.
I definitely go Waddle.
Yeah, I think I like the fact that he scored last week. I like the fact that Tua is back. I like the fact that yes, it's time for us to look at a bigger picture. Do we really think that Jalen Waddle is just going to finish the year with 1 touchdown and X amount of catches and X amount of yards that he has? Granted, his quarterback was absent, but I don't think that I'm almost 100% confident that he's not going to finish this way. Therefore, you have between now and the rest of the season for him to accumulate more production. And let's not forget that this is also a talented wide receiver. He's just
Very
not any
talented.
he's just not any normal wide receiver 2 in the league. He's a talented wide receiver. It comes with ebbs, it comes with flows. This would be a game I would look to for one of these ebbs, if ebbs is the positive out of it.
And plus, he can have 3 catches for 120 yards too, and a touchdown. He's that good. And the Rams, as much as improved as Rams secondary is right now, they could be had, especially in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so to that point, yes, it is possible that could take place. But I also think that that's your basic max or your basic ceiling from Jamison Williams if you do get that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't get that, if you don't get that 3 catches for 95 and a touchdown, it's not going to be a very good game.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a very good game.
I think Houston's secondary is a little bit better than the Rams secondary, don't you think too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. So yeah, that would be my call. It was many of our calls yesterday for the Start Sit show that we have every Saturday at 8 p.m. So please please come back. Please come back for that next week. If again you haven't been on already, folks. Yeah, there were several calls for starter sits for Jalen Waddle. There were several. One call that I'd like to pat myself on the back for, and not just me. I'm sure that you made the call. I'm sure Jonesy made the call. Many were wondering about DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Whether to start or sit him. And no, he was a sit. Flat out sit. And it showed. It showed. And truth be told, I mean, Denver had this team on the ropes. And we said it was going to be a tough matchup for the Chiefs. Yeah. It wasn't going to be an easy out, and it wasn't an easy out. It certainly was not. But no, DeAndre Hopkins was not going to have a repeat performance from the previous week. So that was easy. Travis Kelce, okay. I mean, look, you if he's your tight end, you're gonna start him. He had a good game.
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't that DeAndre had a terrible game, but he just wasn't going to have that smash, that 2 touchdown performance. It wasn't a terrible game.
And we knew that too. I mean,
it wasn't terrible, but none of the Chiefs did well.
Well, especially Xavier Worthless, because right now he's just taking up space on anybody's team right now. I mean, Mahomes just barely missed hitting them deep, but still, it was only two targets. It just no bueno.
Yeah.
But you still, I mean, that that if you're in a dynasty league, you're in keep.
Player I put in because I was so let's address this one. Bray Goat. Yeah. I mean, look, myself, Rhino, anyone on this show, anybody on any other podcast that you're going to listen to, or anyone that you may read, TV, no one gets it 100% correct.
No.
And
we're suggestions anyway.
No one gets it 100% correct. This wasn't look, this I opened up the show by stating this was a kind of an underwhelming week 10. I mean, you got some nice performances. It was nice to see Bijan score 2 times, but no one was wondering whether to sit him. So I mean, he was always going to start. It was nice to see James Cook get in the end zone for 80 yards and a score. Yeah. No one's asking us to sit James Cook. It's these fringe borderline flex players, the Jalen Cokers, the Peter Washingtons, the
We got crap.
the some Xavier Worthies,
Some McMillans.
Sterling Shepard. I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, this is always going to be like to steal the phrase and kind of like a fantasy cliche. It's that these are dart throws, and we try to. Man, there's so much data available that it could drive you crazy, really.
Yeah.
And when I mean data, like I'm not even referring to just like advanced stuff like the yards per route run and the target share reads and the yards after the comp. I'm not even talking about all that stuff. I'm talking about some baseline info that you could get that anyone can get.
You know what? And also, we can't control.
Hold one second. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm not saying that Bray Rock is necessarily talking to us either.
No.
All right, so I don't want this. I'm not getting on the defensive. I'm laying this out in general for our goats.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm going to just say this too: is nobody's going to foresee freaking CeeDee Lamb not doing shit because there's no quarterback that can throw the ball more than 5 yards. You know, and Mike McCarthy is the most horrific freaking play caller in the NFL right now. How you had all week to game plan this game, and I'll leave it at that, man. I feel sorry for me as CeeDee Lamb. If that's how it's going to be.
Look, my take on CeeDee is different than yours.
Yeah.
It really is. This was someone that, because of brand and because of the skill that he possesses as a wide receiver, an elite wide receiver in this league, if he was going to be on the field, we were going to start him in the same manner that we really don't know how Tyreek Hill is really feeling tomorrow, but he's probably going to suit up. But we don't know that if he's 80% or 100%. Nevertheless, if people like him, CD, Tyreek, if they put on a uniform, we're going to play them. It drops them significantly. It drops them out of that wide receiver 1 category down to low-end wide receiver 2. We just saw it at its worst with CeeDee Lamb. Jesus, good evening, GOAT. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
You. Like and subscribe.
Please. First time here, I wanted to get your opinion. My league mates traded Caleb Williams and BT Jr. for Bijan and Jaden Daniels. Many of us in the league did not like it.
Oof. Yeah, I wouldn't like it either.
Yeah, I mean, is there I suppose there isn't the veto apparatus. Yeah. If there was, you could vote that you don't like the trade.
I wonder what places these guys were in too.
Yeah, and
that almost sounds like collusion a little bit.
How well do they know each other? If this is a home league, are these friends? Is this a work league? Colleagues that don't like it? There was a trade that went down not too long ago in one of our leagues. I'm not sure which one. It was kind of bogus. I don't want to name the league member. It was kind of bogus. The league member happens to be in last place, but he traded away, top end players. Yeah, it runs rampant. So it's not just your league, my friend. What do I think about it? I think it's lopsided. That's what I think about it.
If in fact it'd probably been if they would have done Williams and Brian Robinson for Bijan, then maybe that'd been a good trade. But no, not especially with Brian Robinson Jr. being hurt.
So you might get like rationalization like, oh well, I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to continue to perform the way he has the rest of the way, and then you could also get that argument. on the contrary for why Caleb. Well, I think Caleb is going to turn it around. So those are probably the arguments that you would get. Nevertheless, if we're talking about just straight up here on paper,
yeah,
it sucks.
And I think the difference between Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels is the OCs, in my opinion. No,
not to voice your opinion on the matter, and again, based on what we're voicing. No, it's not wrong. Again, though, what measures are in place? If there is absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts about it, like the trade goes through without any type of vetoing, then the trade goes through. If there is the actual league members, it has to pass with 7 approved votes, then that's what you use that in the future.
Yeah,
that's what I would say there. Bray Goat. On paper, my team is great, but it's done so mid this week. Yeah.
Oh look. Boy, I can feel you, brother. I can feel that, man.
Look, I mean, I'm not sure how many leagues you play in, Bray. The commissioner and myself, we play in over double-digit leagues.
Yeah.
To say that every single one of the teams are playoff bound, we'd be absolutely lying to you.
Yeah, big time.
Absolutely lying. If yeah, of course. Again, that goes into the week that we are about to wrap up, my friend. So yeah, you got some games here that we could say, okay, nice. But like Josh Allen, what did he do? What did he do today?
He did pretty good. He had a rushing touchdown.
He had a rushing touchdown.
Touchdowns, like 50 yards rushing, like 240 yards passing.
But he has only 1 touchdown, right? I mean, so okay. Overall, Josh Allen had a good game. Okay, fine. He had a good game.
I mean, with his 2 top receivers being out and the Dalton Kincaid,
there were no passing touchdowns in the game.
No,
that I know.
Yeah,
that was one. It was a lot of Amari Cooper. And it was, and I thought Amari Cooper was going to play. We were wrong. I mean, teams are taking a little bit more of a cautious approach here. Like again, Nico Collins, again, he was activated, will not play. Christian McCaffrey returned, but it took all this time, probably rightfully so.
And the only reason, I mean, I'll give him props. He had a good game, but his game was good because of 6 catches for 68 yards.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he had like 39 yards rushing.
No,
excuse me. I text you. This was the weekend of Mr. Irrelevant touchdowns. We had Johnny Wilson. We had Hakeem Haskins. We had MVS. Went off just where he come from.
MVS.
He's actually damn balls.
So it's not. Crazy, it's not. Man. So right. It's not like everyone who had Chris Olave was looking to handcuff Chris Olave with MVS. Right. Everybody was looking to either start or sit Taysom Hill. It wasn't. Oh, I bet you this is going to be a sneaky play. Let's start MVS and watch him be the wide receiver 2 for the week.
Yeah, even last night we had we had a lot of people asking about Tippin. There's no questions about MVS at all. There's about Tippin. Tippin did show out again.
No, and the questions will probably come this Tuesday for the waiver show, which is at 8:00, folks. Yeah. This Tuesday, I'm sure there'll be some that will, be curious to say the least. Should we add MVS now? That is he the deep threat? Is he this now newfound? Well, he's not new, obviously, but is he going to be the the recipient of Derek Carr in the passing attack.
Yeah, and was that an outlier?
I would say it was an outlier.
Yeah.
But Justin Jefferson, 55 yards.
Yeah, well,
His
Darnold
worst game.
He had 3 interceptions. Nobody expected him to win the game 12 to what? 12 to 6, 12 to 7, 12 to something like that, 12 to 9. Against Jacksonville has one of the worst defenses in the league.
Right. So not only do the Vikings put up 12 points, but their opponent didn't outscore that 12. The opponent started Mac Jones, lost one of their running backs in the process, and is working with no wide receivers with the exception of Brian Thomas Jr., who's also kind of sort of banged up, kind of.
Yeah. And the kind of, Ingram, quote, tight end, but he's playing a receiver spot right now.
Very little scoring.
Yeah.
Very little scoring taking place this week.
And then,
that's all. Donald, JT, CMC.
Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. I would have never predicted freaking that happening today against Arizona's defense. Arizona's played, their defense showed up. And
a game
the Jets just did not show up.
A game that they absolutely had to win, and they put up 6 points in the desert. So yeah, that's right. Any of these prized assets like Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, even Devontae, nothing. You got nothing. We got nothing out of it. I'm not even gonna go on the Jets rant. No, because I'd rather get to.
Yeah, take your breath.
I'd rather get to Bray Rock. I'd rather get to E-Goat over here. Sammy Darnold and JT CMC. Russell, well, yeah, you have a good team. Now here's Puka tomorrow night. Evan Ingram, yeah, all right. Breece, yes. London didn't have a bad game. He didn't score, but he didn't have a bad game.
6 for 85, I think.
It was close to 100. Was it him and Darnell Mooney basically had the same stat line? So yeah, 85, 95 yards, something along those lines, without touchdowns. Bijan had 2 nice touchdowns. Bijan is the big winner today. Big winner.
12 targets for 97 yards for London. So Puka
to outscore Goff. Puka to outscore Goff. I mean, it's not out of the question. If the Texans play really solid defense, if we get one of these Detroit like heavy ground pound type of offensive production, offensive output, lots of David Montgomery. Utilizing Jahmyr Gibbs, hit your receivers. You should expect 1 touchdown from Goff at least. At least. But let's try to put the clamps on it from there. What you don't want is Jared Goff to obviously have a field day, which I don't think he's going to.
No, I don't think so either. Houston's got a decent.
This is too much. This is too well balanced of a team to just abandon the run.
Oh,
hey guys, can I get some help with the pivot play? Half PPR. Hutchinson, Bobby Trees. We got somebody that calls him Bobby Trees. I like that. I love it, actually. Dalton Schultz, Odell Beckham, or Timmy Patrick. Oh, boy. Half PPR. So it'd be Hutchinson or Bobby Trees.
Tim Patrick gets his, though.
I
don't know now with Jameson Williams back.
I actually made a recommendation about an hour ago to a strong connection of mine on X with the Nico News, and he asked. He didn't put the names out there like he just said any of the Texans wide receivers. My response was no. The next play would be Dalton. That for me, it would be the tight end Dalton Schultz. Other than obviously Tank.
Yeah.
But Odell Beckham Jr. is not an option for us here.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I like. I
But
do like
hey,
Bobby Trees. I like
but
Tim. I like Tim Patrick too.
I mean, look, based on the way this week has been, I mean, like again, it would be it wouldn't surprise nothing should surprise any of us at this point. Nothing should surprise us. But it's not likely, it's not probable that Odell Beckham all of a sudden now scores even, and we don't even know Tyreek Hill status. I think your safest bet again would be Dalton Schultz.
Yeah,
That's the safest bet.
All right, Connor. We missed Connor, so I went back, got him. How you doing, Connor? Thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe, everybody. Pick one full PPR: DeMarcus Robinson, Xavier Hutchinson, Odell, Robert Woods, Jordan Whittington, Michi. Need about 15 points. Nico just hurt me.
It's another pivot. Yeah.
DeMarcus Robinson is a good play.
Well, I don't think it would be Whittington, right?
No.
If there was going to be a Rams wide receiver to choose from after the main two,
it's gonna be DeMarcus Robinson.
It would probably be DeMarcus Robinson. Probably.
Yeah, because he's number 3. Jordan Whittington's maybe 4. But Tutu's good, but he's good for maybe 2 or 3 catches downfield. So that can't be trusted. But yeah, I like DeMarcus Robinson.
If DeMarcus Robinson is an option for you tomorrow night, and you need to plug in somebody,
and plus he's been doing pretty good. Him and Stafford are connecting again. It helped more with him when Puka and Kupp are in.
We have a body of work from him dating back to last season, so it's not. So it's not like the dude just not capable. We also have a body of work or lack thereof from John Mechie. Unfortunate circumstances to start his career. So that's a completely different story. But it doesn't change the fact that he just doesn't have enough. He's not enough. He hasn't been on the field enough.
Right.
Bobby Trees is almost like a tree that's being chopped, that's about to fall down in the forest that you don't hear.
Yeah, because you're not going to get big plays from him. You'll get dink and dunks. But that's like you said,
possession.
That's where Dalton Schultz going to come in more.
Spot possession receiver. Yeah. We know that Tank Dell's the first read option, and that's why I also believe that Dalton Schultz is like that second read. And then there'll probably be a heavy dose of Joe Mixon. Let's not forget that Joe Mixon could be used in the passing game as well.
Hoping for that tonight.
So I think it would be
DeMarcus Robinson.
I think it's DeMarcus Robinson, Connor Goat.
I think that's the safest play.
That's that. Do you let's get back to the CMC thing for a second. Oh, you got to give it to Kyle Shanahan. He was transparent with us. He said approximately 20 touches, got 19.
Yep.
And there was something else that I found interesting, and I would have to go back to maybe the all 22 or just watch the damn game again. It seemed from the time that I picked up on it in the second quarter, it seemed that every time that he did get a carry or he did catch the ball, they did not go back to him on the next play.
No.
It didn't matter. Like if it was a carry for 5 yards and now it's 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 4, they threw the ball. They didn't continue. They didn't give him 2 consecutive attempts. Or again, that's what it seemed like to me from when I kind of spotted it in my head or kind of picking up on it. Now, again, I don't know if that's complete, total lunacy on my part or coincidence on my part, or perhaps that was completely intended. Because Kyle Shanahan said, again, we're going to give him about 20, and that's his quote-unquote load management. but there may have been more into this load management, right?
Yeah.
we'll give him in an attempt, and we let him be himself, let him be Christian McCaffrey. But I don't know if I want to give him 2 consecutive attempts. I don't want that type of force. To drive for a first down if you have to on 3rd and 2. Like,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm just saying.
A surprisingly good game today was Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, he did have a good game.
89 yards or something like that.
And he did get a little banged up in this one also, though, right?
Yeah, but a little bit.
Yeah. But no, it was a pretty good game. It was. While we're on the wide receivers on that field, I'm sorry, Goats, to say that the other Shepard, the Sterling, was just disappeared.
Yeah,
disappeared. We know that they're thin at the position. We know this. It looked like they were sort of developing or building a nice chemistry with wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, and we got nothing. We got nothing from them. Rashad White.
They did a good job of keeping Cade Otton in check too.
Cade Otton was put in check for 35 yards and 5 catches on 8 targets. Rashad White had 6 catches, 40 yards on 7 targets. Sterling Shepard was non-existent.
Yeah.
Trey Palmer, non-existent. Rashad White and Bucky Irvin, they did well.
Bucky did good.
What's up, Magic Goat?
I think me and you could feel this pain right here, huh?
When I don't play.
Definitely could feel this pain.
So that would be today then, right? Yeah. That would be today.
I wonder whose other wide receivers are if he only played Devontae Smith for the first time this year. He must have strong wide receivers not to play him every week.
Has to.
But yeah, definitely feel your pain.
That's also well, yeah. So you're the receiving core for Mr. Magic Goat's squad must be strong if you have to continuously go back and forth whether to start Devontae Smith or not, or either that or it's a 10-team, start 2 wide receivers, start 2 running back, and 1 flex type of format.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, that's also just a byproduct of like it's always going to be like hot and cold, ebb and flow, back and forth with anybody that's not named Justin Jefferson, who you have to play. Jamar Chase, who you have to you have to take all of that on the chin when they don't have the games like that. But when it comes to the next level or the 3rd level, it's always going to be back and forth, up and down. It'd be wonderful to string together consecutive, several solid performances. That's if you go back and take a look at Devontae Smith's logs, you're not going to find a lot of weeks like that with Devontae Smith. Why? Because of AJ Brown. It's just the way it is now. Now, because of even at the advent of their running game with Saquon. So, yeah, for many of us, Devontae Smith is generally always starting in 3 wide receiver leagues, and then the flex. Whether we're deciding on a 4th wide receiver or the 3rd running back. Yeah, that's lousy, Mr. Magic Goat. Yeah, I feel you there. I know. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel you.
All right. Next question.
What other games can we? I mean, again, this was a bad week. This was a bad week.
I mean, the Steelers Commanders game was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It was. I thought Najee looked like he was hurt significantly, but then he returned back to the game. I was like, ooh, Jalen Warren, welcome to the 2024 season. And on that play where Najee had to come off the field, Jalen Warren damn near went all the way to the goal line, and I think he coughed it up.
Yep. And Mike Williams did Mike Williams things too. I don't know how many plays he was in. So I was watching not games at one time.
Not a lot.
But that was a pretty ass pass that Russell Wilson threw him.
Rhino, they even said on the telecast, like there was a set package for Mike Williams. Yeah. Well, there it was right there. That was part of that set package. He was not on the field for a lot of plays.
No, and that one touchdown to George Pickens where he went back and twisted and caught the ball.
So it's shit like that, man. Yeah. It's shit like that. Like when conventional wisdom is telling us, no, Mike Williams isn't a good play. He just got to the team. He's got to learn the playbook. He's still a wide receiver too. Russell Wilson, we don't expect him to throw 3 touchdowns. His third touchdown pass of the game went to the dude that just got onto the team.
Yeah.
It's actually, it runs contrary to what we know of in fantasy, what we have experienced in fantasy. It runs contrary to that, and we're going to be wrong.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think George Pickens is at that point right now where he's just a leave in, and don't take him off the right position?
I'm glad that you asked me that. I am.
Well, I'm glad I asked it.
Because I have notes here. I do. I have a note here regarding Curious George. Where do we have him rest of the season? Are you buying George Pickens from an owner or?
Yeah, I'm buying. He seems to produce week in and week out. Russell Wilson has a good connection with him, and you can see the excitement. Even on the sideline, his demeanor is so much different now than before. He's also getting fed, you know.
It reminds me of somebody that's on their second marriage.
Yeah.
Where like the first marriage was just so bad, so lousy, and then all of a sudden, this is what it's like. Look, like my second marriage, like I shouldn't have gotten married the first time.
Yeah.
Now, not that I've experienced that, Goats. Nope, not me. I am a proud bachelor here, but nevertheless, I've heard that before. George Pickens, if he's not a buy, he's a hold. If you're rostering him already, sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, guys, Adams wants Wilson bad, so I'm thinking about trading Wilson for Adams and somebody else on his team. Adams' target share is a lot higher. It's not a bad trade, because him and Rodgers do have a significant rapport. But I also like Garrett Wilson though too. But it depends on who you can get with Adams. Probably maybe like a running back 2 and Adams for Wilson.
So it's basically like a swapping of the Jets wide receivers.
Yeah.
Somebody else on his team, Adams' target share is probably a lot higher, of course. But Garrett Wilson is a hell of a lot more efficient and explosive at this point. How could you not be talking about comparing an apple to an orange? One's 24, the other one's 34. Yeah. He's not 34, but let me see that again. Wants Wilson bad. Wants Wilson.
So that means he'll give up. He'll give up more than he probably should. So
make sure that you're gonna get another player in return, because again,
that's a player that produces too. I mean,
I'm not sold that, like, all of a sudden Devontae Adams is just gonna, like, turn it around and run hot. This Jets team looks bad. That was a game that they had circled to win.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a game on the schedule to steal one on the road, it was this one. And they did not score against the Cardinals. And this isn't like just like a vaunted Cardinals defense either. It's really not. Nevertheless, if you're going to give him Gary Wilson and take back Devontae Adams, I would probably want another player for sure.
If you do this trade, let us know how it went too. Please let us know. Yeah. Do you think there's gonna be? Do you think that the Jets have enough balls to sit Rodgers and play Tyrod?
When they're mathematically out of it.
Yeah.
When they're mathematically out of it.
Does Rodgers
unless
under contract for next year?
I believe he's under contract, but I'm not, whether he remains with the team or retires, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he's stubborn enough with too much of his ego and pride, he would play out the whole entire schedule. But once they're mathematically eliminated, I'm not even sure it would be Tyrod. Let's not forget the rookie that they drafted. They may want to give him a look.
Yeah.
So I could see him kind of like capitulating to that.
Who did they draft? What rookie quarterback did they draft?
Jordan Travis.
Is he healthy though?
I have no book on him. It's a good. I don't know.
He was a hell of a quarterback in college at Florida State, but then he got hurt.
I know he came in hurt.
I think it was ACL. I think he tore his ACL.
I know he came in hurt. I just don't know if I don't know what his status is now. So yeah, I mean, like, to give Tyrod Taylor like the garbage time, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Pray rock.
Should I trade Mooney for Devontae Smith if I have London? I won't play Mooney unless London is hurt. That's an upgrade. But you'd have to take the ebb and flows of Devontae.
Again, I asked this the other night, and of course it went in one ear and out the other. Have the Eagles had their bye? I know the Falcons are coming up on bye. Have the Eagles had their bye?
Yeah, they had earlier in the year.
So then I would want Devontae Smith, because you're going to not have Darnell Mooney in a week or two, and that goes for London. You're not gonna have London in a week or two.
Let's see here.
And you know what? And Darnell Mooney is a startable player, by the way. He's a startable wide receiver. He put up the same line as Drake London.
He had a bye week in week 5. So
right now, and we're going to talk more about this on all subsequent shows from tonight moving forward. We need to start taking a look at all the upcoming buys. Trade deadlines are approaching. If we're going to make trades, it doesn't behoove any manager to take on players that are already going to be on bye coming up in week 12 and week 14, unless you're sitting with 1 or 2 losses on the year and you're cruising and you want that player for week 15 plus.
Or maybe you want to strengthen your bench up too.
But again, if you're borderline 4-5 or 5-5, if you're borderline and you're taking on X player wide player, and you're not going to have this player week 14. It would make me think about it. It would make me think about it. That's all I'm saying. Especially in I wouldn't call this fringe because Devontae Smith, Darnell Mooney, and Drake London aren't fringe at this point. They're wide receiver 2s, and Drake London is a low end wide receiver 1, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Falcons, truth be told, they're coming up on bye. The Eagles had their bye, so think about that.
Yeah, especially because they play Denver next week too. So rate these 3 for the rest of the season. Downs, D-Hop, and Tillman.
Mr. Magic Goat.
That's how I'll rank them. Downs, D-Hop, and Tillman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could make the case to maybe put D-Hop up first. Just because D-Hop, we expected a down game today. You went against one of the best corners in the league. I'd be curious to see what Cedric the Entertainer does, but we're not working with much of, again, 2 games with Jameson Williams, but they were good. They were good games. Jameis Winston, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Sundays.
1 good game and 1 bad game. That's Jameson Winston in a nutshell, though, too.
But Winston's bad game, his lone touchdown was to Cedric, correct?
Yeah. And Cedric is the de facto number 1.
It seems like he is the de facto. It seems like he is the de facto wide receiver 1 for sure. Which I think this is where Mr. Magic Goat is kind of like raising the questions to the Shepards. Like it does beg the question: should Tillman kind of be maybe nudged up ahead of Downs? Maybe
D-Hop. I think about it because look at the quarterback play. Flacco ain't doing shit for Indianapolis.
It was a garbage time second touchdown, which we don't care about necessarily. Yeah. What I care about, what you care about, what we should all care about is the fact that it went to Alec Pierce, who nobody had in any lineups. I highly doubt, unless you're in an absolute deepest dynasties, no one had Alec Pierce starting. Nevertheless, for you, the GOAT, I'm going to put D-Hop there just based on brand, just based on quarterback.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to the de facto wide receiver 1 on the Browns. And we know that Winston is just so pass happy. And then I'm going to go Josh Downs.
I think I think I'd do the same thing. As far as I know, Steichen is saying that Flacco's QB1. Even though he's doing worse than freaking Richardson did.
Look, him being QB1 is not helping the cause.
No.
It's not helping the Josh Downs cause.
No. Josh Downs had 7 catches for
and that's great. And
77 yards. He drove the touchdown, but still, it's Flacco.
And let's not make any mistakes here. Yes, we do need to look at past performance. We want to look at a couple of games prior to try to see trend. We want to see how they did last week, of course. Yeah. However, we also have to look at present. And today was lousy. So I think that's how I got it. Let's put D-Hop up. Then Cedric the Entertainer, then Downs. I know Downs is coming up on a bye. That's a week 14 bye. How do I know that? I drafted a bunch of Anthony Richardson. That's how I know that. And those teams are one of those teams is actually doing really well, but he's like QB2. Well, Flacco now is QB2.
Yeah.
But So yeah, that I know they're coming up on bye week 14. The Browns are coming off of the bye now, and Chiefs haven't had their bye yet, or have they?
Yeah, we
No, they're 9-1, right? Check or don't check. Nevertheless, I know Magic will be with us along the way. We're going to carry this goat, support this
yeah,
goat.
week 6 did a bye week.
They did have a bye week. We're going to carry this goat on for the ship. We're going to carry him to the ship. We're going to carry all the rest of the goats onto the ship. Where I know the game has commenced. Look at these uniforms. And the Lions do have the ball. Working on my
I have
my commentary.
I'm down 25 in my home league you're in, and my son has Stroud going. I still have Stafford, Puka, and Cup going. Did he have a chance? And I have Gibbs going too in this league.
Is this the ESPN or the sleeper?
ESPN. Sleeper, I'm getting my ass whooped. He has Stroud left.
How do I see without losing my entire screen, which I have? Here we go. Now I can see you. I'm looking at ESPN. Where do I see other matchups? That's what's bothering me. I see my matchup, but I don't see the other matchups. Fantasy Cast?
Yeah.
Maybe it's Fantasy Cast? God almighty. ESPN. Who else besides you play on ESPN?
If you go to the league, then go to the scoreboard. It'll show all the games.
HD Rhinos versus
To the Moon and back.
I see Jahmyr Gibbs over here for HD Rhinos, and I see CJ over here for And To the Moon.
Yep.
And
I have Stafford, Puka, and
Oh
Cup.
yeah, yeah. I think this should be a win here on your side.
Hopefully,
should be. Unless CJ Stroud decides to go off, throws 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
One of those games that we saw a couple of times last year that we have not seen this season from CJ Stroud.
Yep.
Mr.
Magic.
3 touchdowns to Tank.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be too bad for me. Is Tyreek playing?
Game time decision still.
Yeah, game time decision. I actually put Josh Downs in instead of playing Tyreek this week just because of that. Just because of that. If he does play, I don't think he'll be on a pitch count and probably be more of a decoy to open field up for everybody else.
Hopefully it won't be a game time decision, but if you're the Dolphins or if you're any NFL team for that matter, and you have an absolute deadline time that you have to submit it to the league, the actives and the inactives. So so technically I'm sure the Dolphins probably know now. Technically. If it was serious, I wouldn't imagine anything drastic changing overnight. So I'm sure the Dolphins know one way or another at this point. However, they have up until about 90 minutes. So why wouldn't you take all that time and then you submit when you have to?
Yeah.
But then again, that's why some of the reporters are very, very good. At least the main reporters that give us the scoop, the info, their sources that they get info from. So they may leak it per source. Tyreek Hill is expected to play. That might come in at some point overnight. rather waiting during the day tomorrow. CJ's a take. Of course it is. Tank. Love it.
And happy birthday to all my fellow former Marines and Marines that are serving right now. Appreciate your services, and to all the veterans out there, thank you for your service, and you have a beautiful Veterans Day tomorrow. Go get yourself your free food.
Yeah, and we could wrap up right now, Rhino. Just enjoy the rest of our evenings. Have some nice dinner if you haven't already. Just leave everybody on one final note.
He reminds me of the dude from Tales of the Crypt now.
We'll be back Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Until then, have a wonderful evening. God bless you all.